RPG for You and Me presents a special Patreon miniseries. Welcome to Silica Valley. After Sia's explosive attempt to help out, she'll wander off and try and find Set wherever he might be.
I think there's a good chance that Set thanks Kadu for the chance to practice with her. Maybe they actually practice a little bit longer too.
Yeah, she's happy to.
Yeah.
She hadn't seen you for so long. She's not exactly like warm and loving, but
yeah,
Silica is able to tell that, she missed him. Because we'd established that she was, in many ways, a parental figure. She was his mentor and for the clutch of eggs that, he was born into.
Starts asking around to catch back up where Sia went, and then hears an explosion, and then heads that way.
So Sia, this can be in the aftermath of the explosion. You can have cleaned yourself up or
I don't think she has. Dirt. She's kept the dirt. Might as well have this grease of her failure on her.
Absolutely filthy.
Yeah, then I imagine as soon as he sees her, he would try to attend to her wounds.
I wonder if she landed on one of her back legs a little wrong. And it's not helping her walk around as good as normal.
For a second, I thought you were going to say she landed on her glass percolator and shattered and got stuck with the shards, but I'm not going to punish you that way.
I mean, it would give her a drive to get back to Alair assortments at some point.
The wound can be whatever you'd like it to be, or you can roll for it.
I'll roll for it. Do we have a table for wound areas?
I mean, there's an injury table that we can use and, have no mechanical effect.
Let's do it.
It's usually 2d6.
And I add them together?
Yes, and they don't blow up. What'd you get?
A 9.
Guts, roll me another d6.
Oh, jeez. 5.
Busted. Your strength die would be reduced to die type.
My guts is busted.
My guts is busted. Yeah, so that doesn't actually happen. But that's, if you like that result, you can use that for flavor.
Limping around, maybe holding her ribs a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe she landed on one of them a bit wrong and they're just bruised and sore and...
Yeah, basically you're walking around with your hand across your side. You have black char. Your hair's maybe blasted back a little bit. Just you're hurt.
Yeah, the blue of her hair is a lot more dusky.
Yeah, so Silica's gonna come up and just. Oh my God, are you okay? Did you get caught in that explosion? I heard.
Sparky.
Oh.
Zaver walks by in the background and says, "Man, Silica, where'd you pick her up?"
Just working a job, man.
Well, work it faster. He continues walking.
I'm just gonna be real. I'm just not gonna talk to anybody else while we're here. Because they don't seem to like me, and I don't want to step on any more toes. I broke his mug. And Sparky, probably.
Wait, which mug?
The Sun's Out, Guns Out one.
Ooh.
Don't make that noise!
That was a pretty big deal to him.
We pan to the background where we see Zaver holding the mug and pouring a jar of nails into it, and one of the nails filters through and falls through the cracks as well. So, a dejected sigh.
I did what I could. Wasn't enough.
Okay, well, let me look at your ribs. Let's see, or what are you holding there? Let's see.
It just hurts.
If I can get you patched up.
I don't know.
Yeah. Let's.
I've been punched before. This is worse. It hurts.
Yeah, it wasn't a small thing. It was pretty loud. I could hear it from across the camp.
How'd you know it was me?
I didn't, but then I saw you.
Oh, good. Oh,
yeah.
She's stretches with her arm above her head, but winces back when she overextends a little bit.
Oof. Okay. Let me see what I can do. And then I'd like to make a medicine roll to try and patch her up in this golden hour.
Ooh.
Definitely. So it takes 10 minutes per level of wound that you're trying to heal, so it'll only take 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
You get a -1 if you don't have, like, basic first aid supplies, but I would assume that... I don't know,
we
do
said
you?
at Alara Assortments we got some.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
I have a first aid kit on me, and then I have a medical kit in the truck.
Perfect. So yeah, you can make it without any penalties. And they did, at some point in the past, they changed the rule where the victim's wound modifier no longer applies to the healing roll that you make.
Ooh.
That used to be a thing where it just made it so difficult to heal people with a lot of wounds.
Oh, wow, okay, yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's probably been that way for at least a couple of months now, but yeah. That was a big
what about
change.
with vigor rolls on incapacitation?
Vigor rolls, it does still apply. It used to just
cool.
specifically be when you were somebody trying to use your healing knowledge, like a doctor, to try to fix somebody. If they have, a -3 wound penalty, that penalty would apply to your roll, even if you don't have any, because of how wounded they are. So I could see how conceptually it made sense, but mechanically it just led to a lot of failed medical rolls and people being super wounded for a long period of time.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and roll these healing dice.
Do it.
I get a 5.
That is a success.
Nice.
So over the next 10 minutes, tell me how you patch her up here. What do you do?
Well, first off, I give her some bark to chew on, which is actually I would say it's like aspirin bark.
Oh, nice.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It weirdly
Give her a
tastes like
chunk
Pepto-Bismol, though.
Yeah. Wintergreen? I pull it open and basically clean it out, patch it up, bandage it, and just repack my supplies and maybe put a little bit of like numbing cream on it, like numbing Neosporin or something to that degree.
This is probably the first time we've seen Sia out of her armor, and let me tell you, she's got abs.
Waiting to pull that out.
Yeah.
Now, why does she have abs? I mean, mechanically.
She's a very fit and active person with D8 strength and D6 vigor.
Okay. Well, how's her athletics?
D6.
Okay. Then yeah, I'd say she can definitely have abs. 6
of them for her D6.
That's how you can tell.
Is that what it's linked to?
Yeah, of course. I mean, everybody knows he has 12 abs.
Got the biggest. Did I roll with a D12 vigor for
I
him?
can't remember.
I can't remember either.
I'd have to listen. But I rolled for him, though.
It feels appropriate.
See, what you gotta do is have me roll for your villains, and then we'll prevail every time.
Yeah, if I don't want there to be any danger. Well, that's what you're saving all your good rolls for.
Yeah.
So you ask that now, and then you're gonna blow up every time.
It's all coming together.
Oh yeah.
Has it been long enough for my point of fatigue to go away, or?
I think it probably will by the time the feast starts, so...
Okay, because if I still had that point of fatigue, that was a D4 instead of a D5.
So it still would have been a success, though, so that's fine.
Yeah. I just looked at my sheet and I was like, oh yeah, I still have that.
Yeah, you'll be good on that for now, at least.
I would imagine maybe the wound was a burn, like a burn from the lithium. Have you ever seen a lithium battery go up?
I have not.
I have once, and it like popped and lots of fire. Just, I had like one of those phone cases with a built-in battery pack, and it fell out of my pocket when I was on my skateboard or my bicycle or something, and just smashed on the ground and burst into flames. I was just like, ah!
Wowza. Yeah, that's spooky. Maybe some of her arm hairs and actual hairs got singed, but no imposed penalties to your appearance or anything, of course.
Oh, well, thank you.
I won't ruin your fancy armor, aside from it being dirty and sooty.
That's fine. I mean, it could have some, like, gouges in it. Look cool.
That's up to you.
You know, she wants to look tougher.
Oh my. Well, mission accomplished?
Yeah.
Maybe. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. We're getting into the night. The feast preparation has been going in earnest for the last couple of hours through the afternoon. A montage of shots as we see the tribe members preparing the different types of food, the seared trailblazer meats, the prickly pear cactus fruits. Oh, I like the idea of the grubs. You can dig underground for grubs. You got swib eggs. Just a whole smorgasbord of these desert delicacies. with the agave syrup cooked in this big chunkin' peppers. Man.
And mint garnish.
And mint garnish. Man, mint is prolific. What type of traditions do they have surrounding the feast itself? I mean, is it the type of thing where like you're the guest of honor and you sit there and everybody gets up and talks about how great you are? Do they defer to you to like make a speech about, your place in the tribe and honor and all that good stuff? Or what do you think?
There'd be like a speech thing, but I don't know if there would be like a bragging contest, to that, or a compliment contest. Maybe it's expected that everyone brags up themselves in the situation. Like, it's a time to people to highlight their successes in general, like a boasters meeting or something to that degree.
Gotcha.
Sure.
Or maybe the tribe takes turn in congratulating the person sitting next to them in their achievements. Like, they'll go around and like brag up their friend, and then the challenge is to outboast the person you just boasted. You need to outboast them about their achievements back and forth.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Like, basically, the fact that I asked Heast to sit at my table, I basically asked him to...
Hype man for you.
Yeah, he has to hype me. And in turn, I would have to do the same thing back to him.
Very cool. Is this something that everybody participates in, or is it purely the focus is on you because you are the guest of honor?
A thing everyone participates in, and maybe it's like an irregular thing, like in a wedding or something, where someone calls a toast, and then that's when it happens, but like the highlight will be the hunting party.
Nice. So maybe it starts small, right?
Yeah, but maybe I'm the last one they do this with, or the hunting party is the last to receive this tradition. And also, Sia was part of the hunting party.
Oh my.
And that's a great tie-in for how poorly she represented herself earlier.
She's not wearing her Trailblazer cloak because she doesn't feel like she's earned it in any way, and she kind of wants to give it to somebody here who maybe deserves it more than she does.
I think this is the most important time to wear them.
Oh no.
I think anyone in the tribe who has one has to wear them tonight. So I would definitely say, "Oh, hey, where's your cloak? We need, you haven't done this before. You need to wear that. We have to wear that tonight. We all need to wear that. Everyone's going to be wearing theirs. You were successful in the hunt. We need to wear these. This is that. I mean,
all I did was throw a net. I don't really feel like I've earned this in any way, especially with how significant it seems within your family. I just don't want to. I don't know.
You could have died.
You could almost die doing a lot of things. Don't get robes for it.
Yes, but there's people here who aren't allowed to wear these.
I mean, wouldn't it be insulting for them if I was wearing it?
No.
I'll trust you. It feels weird, though. I'll put it on.
Out of character, that's an interesting thing to bring up.
Mm-hmm.
The He's Feast?
This is the
Silica Feast.
This is the Silica Feast.
We're not eating silica.
Did you, what was
Just
the name of the
for
character
God,
that was blinded?
I named him Adem, A-D-E-M.
Maybe Adem's helping them cook our food with the core events. Maybe he
cool.
can like summon the core event. Like he can pull on it a little bit.
Like direct it.
Okay, cool.
Oh shit!
Perfect.
So he's a siphon.
Yeah, he's a siphon.
What the fuck are we talking
Of course,
about?
he's a fucking siphon. But they have a different word for it. They don't call it a siphon.
Yeah. God damn it!
I love when shit, but I love when stuff like that falls together because we're talking about things that are different, but at their core, they're really the same. And
you made that same goof in the episode I'm editing earlier today.
I'm becoming predictable.
I think I said something like, "At its core, it's the same," and you were just like, "At its core."
Yeah, you know what? I never said that I didn't. Wander through the orchard of low-hanging fruit and only pick that.
It's still fun and funny, right? No one has to reinvent the wheel every time they want to be
Listen, if you don't pick it...
Okay, so Adem, I pulled that name. It means breath in Dutch.
He's a siphon.
Physically, I didn't have anything pinned down aside from I imagine his eyes got burned off by the napalm. I had written down maybe they have like long flowing green hair tie into that Oracle at Delphi, stuff. It just sort of floats around when in the vents and stuff.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Did the Oracle at Delphi do that with floaty hair?
I'm thinking of specifically 300. In the scene in 300 where they go to the Oracle.
I forgot about that.
Really cool, and I know we keep taking these tangents, but the cinematography in that scene's really cool because the lady that they have playing the Oracle, the way they filmed it, she gets up and does like these dancer motions and her hair's swirling in the air and going out, but they actually just filmed her underwater doing the stuff.
Shit.
So
That's neat.
It's really cool, yeah.
I want to watch that again. So it's definitely, is it a red ring planet night?
Yeah, it has to be,
Purple
right?
sky.
Is that every night?
Maybe. I don't know.
Do the rings not show on certain nights?
I don't know. We haven't really established that.
Then they probably exist until we come up with a reason they don't. I guess if there was like cloud cover or something, then yeah.
But it's a desert, so
It's a
probably not a
desert,
lot of
so
clouds.
yeah. Unless we come up with a reason there should be clouds.
People can make
Dust clouds.
People can make clouds, probably.
Well, then they're showing tonight.
What is the tribe's reception to Sia wearing one of these and, being in a position of honor going to be? Like, how would Silica be thinking about this beforehand based on what he already knows about his tribe?
It would be a moment, he would feel like he's being redeemed, I guess, like that. He's still probably self-conscious about the fact that the original hunt didn't succeed and the other people who were affected, Adem comes to mind specifically. He's uncloaked and, he feels guilty about that and also wished he could cloak him, but it would be wrong. And also he might not know that Adem is a siphon now, or is the Cory Whisperer, or what have you, whatever title we land on for that, because that might have happened after he left, because he's just hasn't seen him, and as far as Silica is concerned, he's responsible for him becoming blind. He blinded this man. Even if he didn't directly do it, it was the Trailblazer that did it. So Sia was the point man for the Trailblazer. So that was the position I imagine Adem was in when Silica was supposed to hit it with a wave of sand and take it down into a pit, and also missed.
Gotcha.
So there's a lot of parallels.
Shit.
So the idea...
So he protected Sia in a way that he couldn't help his friend before. God, that's fucking sad. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Go ahead and take a Benny for that. That's a really nice tie-in.
You got me.
I also think smothered the flames on Adem with the sand, instead of getting the blazer. Like, maybe he could have maybe it came down to the choice, like, okay, he caught on fire, I could get this meat now, and we can all... The rest of the tribe can benefit, but my friend's gonna perish. And he chose to instead smother the flames with the sand on his friend.
Gotcha.
Damn.
I'm sure he's happy to be alive. Presumably.
Yeah.
Does he have any kind of like cool little like headband or mask that he wears?
A vestment?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that makes sense.
Maybe he wears his scarf as a blindfold across his eyes.
That's cool. I like that a lot.
Yeah, it matches the same scarves that Set wears and everyone else wears, but there's a wrap of it around his eyes and then it's around his neck the rest of the way.
Very cool. I like that a lot. Would the fact that Sia is joining Set, for the feast and that she's in a position of honor, be a problem given that she's an outsider? Or is this something where, like, because she helped with the hunt, she gets a pass? Or is that sort of seen as sacrilege?
I think there would be a conflict there. This is up to Set to assert. She was point man in the hunt, which is a particular place. You were bait. You were the bait. That is like one of the most dangerous positions to be in.
She didn't know she was bait.
That's what I love about it.
Yeah. Not bait, but she was the one. She was expected to act first when they were ambushed, and that's incredibly important. she was the first strike. Everyone was leading them to this one direction, and she was the point man. So I imagine that is something Set will defend, that even though she's an outsider, she was first in line of fire for where things could become the most complicated. So, and I think some people, like, depending on their opinion about this, they wouldn't like an outsider doing it, but that's what happened, and you can't deny that.
They would probably, in the end, lean towards, that this is the right, and this is what occurred, and we don't like that she's an outsider, but if he's vouching for her, then I imagine most people would at least stomach it, and, maybe talk shit behind back, but...
Yeah, exactly. It'd be dishonorable to outright refuse it, but at the same time, they might wonder why she was put in that position to begin with. That would definitely be a question that someone could challenge him on. It's like, why did you allow this other person to do this? And he'd be like, she didn't have the other skills. That might be Heath's traditional role, is he was the best first contact. Like, he was the guy that would stand there and be the first to react once the creatures, like, he might chase them down and all that type of stuff, but like, what he was best at was when they rolled in, he would hit them hard and hit them fast.
Nice. I like that a lot.
So yeah, that could be Heath's traditional position that this outsider had taken.
Ooh, it's gonna make him so angry. Oh no! Set's like, oh no, everything's fine. Like, these are my buddies, these are my families. They're all like, fuck you, fuck everything about you. I'm gonna kick you off of this cliff.
I didn't take major
Give me that
outsider.
cloak.
You pointed out that they are up on the cliffs, and I think that's very cool imagery. And that the feast is set up to be on top of one of these little mesas, and we have one of those.
Could I imagine?
Yeah, really cool shots. Maybe far in the distance we see the glow of all the lit torches that are stuck into the ground, and then we see the red rings up in the sky. Just blanket of stars stretching over this dark expanse with no light pollution.
There's some good galaxy action going on.
Love it. Platters with all sorts of delicious foods being passed around, a lot of merrymaking, laughter, lightheartedness in general. This is a good night for the Molochs. They've been getting by. I don't think they were in danger of outright starvation, but this is not only a representation of additions to their much-needed supplies in the form of the Trailblazer bladder that they can use to distill into more flammable long-term sources, maybe oils, petrols, things like that, and the delicacy that is the food, but it's also a return of Silica to the tribe itself. He's been absent for some period of time here, and this is a big step forward for his career, maybe? I don't know if career is the right word, but his place within the tribe itself. What else do you think they do during the feast before we get to the boast off, which I think is probably like the culmination of the events, right? That's like the main event of the feast itself.
Do they have like a big buffet hot rock?
Sure. Just a giant long rock that everything's been cooking on. They splay everything out. You just go up and...
It's very artfully done, though. Like, it looks very nice. This is a special night.
Absolutely. It's a big deal.
Maybe there's like somebody reading the stars and telling stories and myths linked to constellations.
Ooh, that's really cool.
I love a stargaze.
Yeah, like all the kids are kind of like rounded up around there and they're speaking loudly. So like the kids are like right in the front and then the adults are kind of in the back. And everyone's listening really, but it's a presentation for the children, but at the same time, everyone appreciates it.
Chase, what is one of the constellations by name?
One's the Walker.
The Walker.
I was gonna say the runner.
Well, there's the Walker and the runner,
yeah,
right?
They're twins, like Ursa Minor and Major.
That's funny because,
Or the Gemini.
And, he used to be the runner, but now he's the Walker.
Damn.
The story involves the Walker and the runner, and it's an analogy of, the tortoise and the hare type thing.
The Walker and the runner also represent two people in the hunt.
Definitely.
Yeah, the runners are the rounding up the blazers. The walkers are waiting for the ambush.
What if the siphon is doing some kind of light show?
What if it's a mist show?
So maybe that's something that Adem does. The feast is arranged sort of near-ish to one of the geysers that's spewing that multicolored gas out. During one of the lulls after the story, after everybody's, pound their chest, there's a ripple of silence and he stands up and he's got the scarf pulled up over his eyes but draped around his neck, his long green hair tumbling down to closer to the small of his back. And he has probably strong features, but a soft expression, very peaceful, very tranquil. And he just stands up without a word and walks as though he knows where he's going, out into the middle by the fire with a small glow around him, very green, similar to his own hair color. He starts to shape the mist up into the air around everyone else. Maybe it has to do with those constellations as well, so he sort of animates them using the mist.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's, just a little, a light show. Maybe it ties into the story itself. Maybe he does that during the storytelling.
That'd be great.
But then, of course, after that has ended, there's rounds of laughter and cheering, and
Adem might have static sense as well.
I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, like the idea of losing the visual component, but still being able to manipulate the mist by the Cori mist by sensing the pure Cori of it.
So not Set's specific type of dark vision, but like the dark vision power, you mean?
Yeah, basically the other part I explained where he can feel things that it's like when someone's looming over you, basically you can feel that sense behind you to the side of you. And it's and what he's feeling is the ambient Cori energy in those things.
Right, okay.
So
yes.
Yeah.
I would say that's very true then. And it would make sense that, they're both capable of doing that, in their own ways.
In fact, they might have learned
I think that's really cool.
Side by side, or, it might be in something they were coached on. That's why they were partnered up, is that in his sand cloud or sandstorm, they both could still use that. And that, they might be friends and all, but they also have similar skill that made that plan important. And then that plan backfired. And that's, so just linking more things.
I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
So they were both able to do that before all this happened.
Yeah. So he might, they both were able to do it, but now he can't see in the dark with it, but he could still, he's not blind when he's using that power, but he can't use that power all the time because it's not a superpower.
Definitely. Yeah.
Unless.
I think that makes perfect sense, and that's a really cool tie-in. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Even if it's supposed to rely on sight, then I think it's cool if it's an abstraction just to be able to sense stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Setting specific.
People who are blind can still sense things, and they, it's like, if this person does have a disability, would they not adapt some measure of sense in a broader form? I don't think there is another type of skill, so that deals with sense in the powers.
Yeah, I don't think there is. I think that's primarily the only one that has to deal with notice or your ability to perceive things around you.
Mm-hmm.
At least that I can remember off the top of my head. And I know D&D and Pathfinder has a lot more specific stuff like tremor sense and...
Yeah.
Alright, so Adem finishes his visual presentation. He gives a bow to the tribe as a whole and then goes and sits down in a meditative position and continues to eat his food. Is there anything that you guys want to add as flair onto this scene for, the feast itself before we get to the main event?
Maybe they keep throwing, minerals into the fire that they would have gotten out of the tunnels or the caves that make it turn different colors.
That's really cool. I like that a lot.
Maybe that's something they had the kids do. They just, pop rocks.
Mm.
Oh, yeah. They actually, if you throw copper and iron and other types of minerals, the copper burns green?
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Because the pennies...
Yeah, it oxidizes green.
Oxidizes it. There was one occasion in the past, because we had a fireplace growing up, there was one specific time I remember where we had, one of those things where you throw it and it makes the fire green. I thought that was so friggin' cool as a kid. And then every other time I asked about it in the future, they'd be like, no, we're not going to do that right now.
Why?
Yeah, that was my question. We'd be like, why? Were we out of it? Was it bad? Never got a real answer.
Damn.
Anyway, but yeah, so we see mostly children, but maybe some adults too, just throw in small handfuls of these minerals, maybe even small bits of crystallized Cori that condensates from the vents that are coming up. Maybe even like a salt. Maybe maybe they even use it like as a salt on some of their foods.
Maybe.
Cori
for preparation.
salts.
I mean, we did say
Cori
that there's
salts.
the Cori infused salt from
I think it was from the reef, wasn't
was
it?
it was the
Yeah.
verdant reef tied into the cook-off, right? Cool.
Love some salt.
Maybe it's out here too.
Mm.
Proprietary.
Yeah, where Cori mixes in with like sodium and other minerals, like, and then it gives it a flavor.
Delicious. Maybe.
To be determined.
Mostly the children throwing small handfuls of this Cori mineral into the fire, and it sparks, and we see wisps of smoke fly up into the air, multicolored flames licking high before they die back down, and that shrieking giggle of children as they're having a wonderful time.
Sia winces every time they shriek. Every time.
Yeah.
Silica has the opposite reaction. He's just like smiling. Eyes are smiling every time they do it a little bit more. Fond memories.
I feel like there's somebody with an acoustic guitar.
Acoustic guitar.
Maybe they got it from Alara.
Okay.
It's one of the things that...
Technology they tolerate.
Yeah. Well, it's not really technology, is it?
It's an object that was... it's not a natural...
Listen, they have Suns Out, Guns Out merch.
Yeah, I don't think my tribe has like a particular taboo about outside technology, but they do trade for it, right? Like, or that's what kind of like Zeph's whole thing, right? They're not like the Borons where they're like, this is forbidden. They're just like...
True.
There's a problem with over reliance on certain things because it's gonna break, and then what are they gonna do when they can't replace it, you know?
Yeah. So then I like that as a tie-in because, you know, for more frivolous things that they don't need to survive, they're probably much more agreeable for, right? Like they're like, oh, this is a guitar. I can use this to make music. Yeah, that's cool.
This is okay because it's not important. Yeah, like no problem.
Exactly. I like the idea of sort of a brag off where everybody brags about themselves and then it, you know, goes around and somebody has to start it by, you know, bragging about someone else, and then that person has to pick it up and do the next person. Is that how it works?
Yeah, I think it might also be like a thing that's going on all night, especially like if anyone complains about something, any gripe or like, oh no, like something goes wrong, they immediately have to like start talking about good things, prevent a downwards,
keep the vibe good.
Not just a vibe good, but I think like there's this like, if something immediate that happens during this night goes wrong, they start talking about all the things that went right, and pointing out other things that other people did great today to try and like make it so the misstep or the mishap isn't what's remembered. What's highlighted that evening is successes.
So me being a natural pessimist and somebody who does, you know, worry and dwell on the more negative stuff, to that, I would be sitting there like, oh no, people are talking about good things. That means something bad is going on.
Oh no.
Or something bad has happened. But that's not, you know, what it means culturally for them, so...
And, you know, you might have people that roll their eyes about the tradition, like, yeah.
But still, that's really cool. So then it would be, as opposed to one continuous event, it sounds like it would more just be going throughout the night, and over time, you know, as it happens more and more, it starts to make its way up the chain, so to speak, until, you know, somebody, you know, at a certain point in the night, it finally breaks over into, you know, a more official type tradition.
Once someone calls out someone at the lead table, that's when the big brag. But it's also like saved. You're expected not to do that too soon. Like,
yeah,
you gotta be cool about it.
Yeah.
Somebody tries to do it before, like, the main course is done, and people
They're
are
like, no.
looking at their watches that may or may not exist.
But some people have watches.
Some people might, yeah. But
it's also another way to ensure that everyone... You can't just point to the most obvious person in the room who did something great that night, or did the celebratory thing that night.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, saving the guest of honor for last makes it so that more people are complimented overall. Because you can't just go straight to the, you know, they had the successful hunt. No, there's other things that have to be bragged about first.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. So in the spirit of that, Allie,
Yes.
What is one brag that I'm not going to ask you to like come up with a bunch of names and stuff right there, but what is one event that is bragged about earlier on in the night, or that someone is receives accolades for?
Maybe someone saved some cargo that was going to fall off of a swiv, like it wasn't properly affixed as it was climbing up the cliff, but they got it. They got it. It was tough, but they did it. That's
cool. I like that a lot. The cargo, maybe it's something that was needed for the feast. A cask of some sort of delicious liquid. What do you think their beverages are here?
I was gonna say like maybe a tea that's made with sweetened with agave.
Love it. Okay, so yeah, somebody calls out that maybe one of the younger members of the tribe had prevented the agave tea from tumbling down and shattering in the cliff below. They say, so now we can all enjoy it. And they race the mugs, and everybody swigs and drinks. And do you have an idea for one other one, Chase?
The people who set up the cooking rocks, the feast pyre.
Somebody pulls them up and sort of shoves them in front of the crowd and says, let's have it for them. They set up the fire that we cooked all the feast on. The hot rocks, the plate, the buffet, everything. There's a cheer of approval in full mouths as people are still eating.
Sia's clapping her hands.
No one else is clapping their hands, Sia.
Well, she's an outsider. And she's tongue-tied. She's also got, like, a bread roll in her mouth.
Love
she's
it.
Like,
woo!
As the feast is continuing through the night, everybody's got full bellies. The general energy level is starting to die down to maybe a simmer, but everybody's still having a great time. One of the other, maybe it's Adem actually, who stands up and clears his throat. We all know the deeds of His. And he steps forward and sweeps an arm towards your table set. Is it you and His and Sia? Just the three of you?
Yeah.
When Adem steps up, he starts to list a lot of past accomplishments of His, chief among them previous hunts, great beasts that he's brought down, memorable trophies that he brought back, or previous feasts that they had only because of His's work. And I think a common thread is that most of the things Adem is talking about are things that Silica knows happened a while ago. Like, there doesn't seem to be a lot of recent accolades that are included in this. Maybe everything that he talks about, you are aware of. So there's no gap in knowledge for you here.
Mm-hmm.
And he says a lot of, he's mightiest and quickest of all, brings beasts down, allows our tribe to live forward another day. Adem has a very theatrical presentation. Maybe he also works his chore manipulation into this as well, works it into more of those pictures above you as he's speaking and gesticulating. The response from the crowd is, of course, solid. Everyone is in agreement that he has certainly pulled his weight for many years. Chase, what do you think is one of the most memorable accolades that is mentioned for His? Like, what's one of the things he's most well known for?
He took down a sky ray.
Ooh.
Man, how do you think he did that?
He jumped off of a cliffside and landed on its back.
Aw.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes.
That's so cool.
Man, your dad's cool.
Sprinted, just jumped straight off and landed on it. Like, it was like swooping down or something, and he just took the opportunity.
I love it. Adem is recounting this tale of daring heroism. He's sort of hunched down, has his arms spread, speaking, towards the children a lot too, mimics the leap and the jump, and then, plunging his spear downwards in a mimic of what he might have done to dispatch this creature. And all the while, His is, I'd say, lounging about as well as he can. Looks very smug, very self-satisfied. This is like the His greatest hits,
This fucking guy.
I guess for him, this would be like the dad who was an all-star football person in high school and then, blew out his knee before he could go to college. And that's like the one big game that he clinched for everyone that he never gets sick of hearing about. but definitely happened a very long time ago. And maybe that's the last one that is listed before Adem, takes another sweeping bow and goes to sit back down again. And in the background of all this, we see many of the NPCs that we've met over the past day or two here. There's, of course, Zaver, who Sia had just goobered up with. Maybe Zeph is here as well. He's, back from patrol for at least a little bit. Kadu's off to one side, maybe nestled amongst a lot of the children, has a stern eye on them. Randus is over in one corner, slowly, very slowly eating his food.
I love Randus. Randus is my favorite.
Chewing this big leaf, sticking out of his mouth, just slowly. Hasn't bitten through it all the way yet. Just
love it.
Taking his time.
I can't not imagine Oogway blowing out the candles one by one in Kung Fu Panda. So slow. After Heese is signaled at the head table and the commotion dies down a little bit more, it's his turn to stand and relay Set's accolades. In addition, is this the type of thing where he would be recounting probably your past stuff as well, too?
He might do that. Maybe instead of having a blazer cloak, he's got the Ray cloak on.
Ooh.
Yeah, he's just got this leather Ray skin that he wears as a cloak, because he's the only one alive who's done that.
Awesome.
Damn, that's cool.
That's very cool. What's one past achievement that Set might have, or if you feel like he wouldn't have any that would be lauded here, and that's one of the reasons it's such a big deal, that's totally acceptable too.
Like I said, he was kind of a prodigy to some degree with his powers. Maybe he, the way they discovered his powers actually helped, basically in a fear response. Maybe when his father attacked the Ray when he was a child, he just obscured his entire class, I guess, of the students that the Ray was kind of going for. Set's powers triggered, and he casted up this huge sand cloud storm around them and saved all the kids from being targeted by these Rays.
Heese waits for the roar of approval to die down, and I think first he starts in. He's very boisterous. He has presence, and I'd say that's probably reflected by a persuasion die. And naturally, of course, the Karnak both do not have persuade as a skill and get a penalty to that.
Well, that's what. Would they get a penalty with that with other Karnaks? And are those used to Karnaks?
Right, and I'm thinking that probably does not apply here for that.
Okay.
And frankly, that might be one of the ancestry hindrances that I rework, because my feeling is that when I was first going through and designing them, I honestly just didn't have a better idea for a 2-point penalty and what they would be and how that would factor in. So
right.
It's not super interesting. It makes a little thematic sense, but in the long run, it's probably something I'll change when something better comes up.
Tuka's so persuasive. Those big ol' eyes.
Well, she can have persuasion. She just doesn't start with it. But, So yeah, so he certainly has a level of gravitas.
Does he have performance?
He might. Especially a storytelling culture like this, anybody who would do this type of thing a reasonable amount probably has at least a D4 in performance. Adem probably has at least a D6 just if he does these shows and, tells stories and stuff like that. But I think he starts with some long-winded stuff about, honor and integrity and what the tribe means and, life and how they're all, every one of you, and, including himself and Set, are strong because they're able to survive out in these wastes. And he, speaks like that for probably at least a minute or two before getting around to anything specific for Silica. He leads in, brandishes his cloak, maybe throws an arm out so that the manta leather ripples in the night. And we get a cool, back shot of him against the red rings that are up in the night sky. We're here today to celebrate the victory, the hunt of my kin. He waves a claw over to you. Silica, a son lost, now returned.
stronger, braver, greater than ever before.
He turns to you and gives you a significant look before looking back to the others.
The quarry running through his veins, the same as mine, instilled in him power and purpose, and even as I slew this beast,
and brandishes the cloak again.
He rose up, he dug deep within himself and found the power to protect himself and others.
And he looks over and gestures towards some of the tribe members who presumably, would have been with you at that time and are probably nodding their heads in agreement in silence.
Save the lives of those around him. And again here tonight has saved us once more with the resources he's procured.
Waves to the feast splayed out.
Hunter of trailblazers, bringer of pelts, fineries, might, wisdom. All of these traits are embodied in my kin.
He waves another claw back to you.
Today we honor you, son, and now you stand with prestige next to your father. Just as I am the walker, so too will you be.
A rumble of agreement goes around.
You make us all proud to be worthy.
And then maybe he sits back down. Unless there's something ceremonial that would be imparted to the final person in the hunt.
I think with him congratulating me, it now becomes my turn to congratulate Sia.
Oh.
That certainly makes thematic sense here, and given what we know about the procedure of this, anybody present in the feast would know that he's speaking directly to you, means he has bypassed Sia's involvement, right? He is...
Mm-hmm.
If people were kind of going up that chain, and maybe it's even unorthodox for him to be sitting with you, I don't know if that's something that is normally done or not, but he has certainly gone out of his way to, not give Sia accolades himself. So whether it falls to Set to do it or whether she just gets left out is certainly...
She doesn't mind being left out.
I know you don't, but I'm gonna have Set do it this time because everyone's been shitting on you this whole time.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Yeah, that's great.
She lives in the shit. She's fine.
I belong here. That's my Sia voice. Did you like
me.
it?
Steps up. It's a great honor to have Hees declare that I will be a great walker one day. But I am now going to congratulate the walker of my hunt, Sia.
Sia gulps.
I was the runner. I led and chased the trailblazers to the ambush. But Sia, someone who knows very little of our ways, stood fearless of the oncoming great, powerful, and dangerous beasts. Sia prevented and attacked a female in close quarters combat as it leaped out of the pit that we had driven it into. Sia deserves our respect as much as any other hunter who has stood and survived these beasts.
Cool, that was really
That's
good.
a good speech.
That's a good speech. As Silica stands and begins to recount the details of Sia's involvement, there's maybe not muttering or murmur, but there's certainly a shift in the crowd as everybody turns and, acknowledges your acknowledgement of her. Maybe some dour faces there, but certainly some are more willing to, hear of this than others. And as you continue to shower her with compliments and praise, how would you like to make me either a persuade or a performance roll here?
I'll make a persuasion roll, because I don't even have performance. Would my -1 apply now?
I'll say no.
Yeah.
Leave it off for now. This is your tribe, so,
Okay.
I think you guys are good on that.
I got a 4 and a 1, but I'm going to spend a Benny, because I want this to be better. I also rolled a 4 on the 1, but this time the 4 was on the D4.
Hey!
Hey!
So that's a 6 total.
6 total. 6 is a success.
Thank you for the Benny. The
Yeah.
investment.
Yeah. When you finish, based on your presentation and how you've done it, I think you get probably like 85 to 90% of the tribe, joins in response to Sia. And maybe it's one of those, after the person is done boasting and speaking for them, they say the person's name. So it would be like Hees or Silica, and then finally Sia. So Sia, as you are sitting there, possibly uncomfortable.
Very uncomfortable.
With this round of relative strangers who chant your name all at once. And then silence falls, waiting for Silica to continue.
She's fighting off a panic attack.
When I finished, technically, it becomes Sia's turn to compliment the whole tribe for the deeds that they have accomplished.
Oh no.
Wonderful. It is now Sia's turn to compliment the tribe.
I don't think she realizes that, because nobody briefed her on this.
And now, a woman who requires no introduction.
After he does that, he leans in and it's like, it's your turn. You're last, so you have to congratulate the whole tribe. So, like, he'd, just say that real quietly as he leans in.
Oh, shit.
Oh, also,
she side-eyes to everybody watching her.
During you regaling everyone with Sia's exploits, Hees is certainly sitting there looking far grumpier, especially after you corrected him and said that you were not the walker, which I don't know that, he even understood, but he's sitting rather stoically waiting.
Yeah, so like I said, I aspire to be a walker like Hees, but in this hunt, I was not the walker. It was Sia. I think also another thing was basically Set was prepared to congratulate the whole tribe, but since Hees skipped Sia, it landed it in Sia's lap. That's position she would be in.
Gotcha.
There's this drama that he chose to overlook the outsider.
Definitely.
And Set at the same time was like, uh-oh, my friend's in a weird spot now, but there's no culturally appropriate way to get out of it.
Right. So Sia having to compliment a bunch of strangers.
Where does she start? Where does she start on this?
Great.
After Set is like, you gotta get up there, you gotta say nice things. And she's like, oh, fuck, oh, god damn. She stands up, probably still behind their table area, and just claps her hands together in front of her chest a little bit and says, I ask your forgiveness, as I'm not terribly good with words in general, but I really appreciate you letting me exist within your community for a day. And I'm very grateful for it. And I think she points at the kid that led them to the quarry. Isbel. You're gonna be amazing. You just keep it up, right? You just keep doing what you're doing. Does she puff up?
Yeah, I mean, you've called her out, So basically, you are the final line of this, which is the most important, right? The person who ties everything together.
Right.
So the fact that she was called out, during that is probably a big deal for her, even if you are an outsider.
Right.
So yeah, I think you see Isbel inflate with pride and look around smugly to her friends.
I don't know if she says anything else. She's not a talker.
I mean, if you want to end it there, that's fine.
She just says, thank you for your time and your hospitality. And she sits down.
Okay, so I would like you to make me a persuade roll.
Bad.
Based on the fact, so you complimented one person in the tribe for not even anything specific.
Yep. Yep.
I think this is going to be your normal penalties. It should probably be at a further -4. This is purely for how well it goes over with the crowd based on how well you uphold the ideals of the situation. Right.
The ideals that she had no idea she had to be upholding.
Right. So it's a little catch-22. But
so what are my total minuses?
God,
with my -1 my base -1.
Your base -1, and that's from your bad, not talking good.
Tongue-tied.
Tongue-tied. I had it there for a moment. So, so you have tongue-tied. You have -2 for being an outsider.
You know, your hindrance, not talking good.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say, do it at a further -3 because of her. I'm sorry.
Oh my god, -6?
Yeah.
Wow,
This is purely for reception.
punishing.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'll let you.
I blew up both of them.
Good news, you can't crit fail.
It's a 1 on my D4.
Okay.
Oh god, please. Oh shit, I got a 4!
Oh my god, so you got a 10 -6.
I got a 10.
Is a 4. Wow, okay, so you got a success on this.
Really pull that one out, huh?
Tell me then, what is it about her presentation that gets her at least baseline acceptance?
Maybe she just sounds real genuine.
What if Isabel is the daughter of somebody incredibly important?
I like that a lot. I think that's cool.
What if Isabel is being looked over by Adim?
Okay,
Like,
sure, yeah.
Is his adopted daughter.
Yeah, so it's because you complimented Isabel, who the rest of the tribe knows is, you know, a person of respect. If not that. I don't know how the entire social hierarchy works there, but the fact that not only did you compliment their youth, but you complimented maybe the most quote unquote important one.
Right.
Got you some brownie points as well.
Nice.
She might be like a siphon in training. The next, even though the siphon isn't an official role here, it's the next person who's prospected to be the Corey Whisperer or siphon, you know?
Very the giver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jonas. Man, that's a book I haven't read for years. When you get done, there's another beat of silence before everyone says, "See ya."
Nice. She says under her breath.
Nice. So yeah, that's the end of the formalities, I think, in terms of like just that bit of presentation. Throughout the meal, you guys are here. I mean, there's movement. I don't know that it's, maybe you weigh on this, but I don't know if it is a case where you're like not really supposed to leave your table, so you're stuck there, or if people can get up and wander, or...
I don't think it's that big of a performance where everyone has to stay in there, like at that main table the whole night.
Right.
Maybe me and Hees and Sia, we were the only ones allowed to serve the Trailblazer. Like, we had to go to the whole tribe and give them the food that... Like, me and Sia would have been expected to do it, but I invited Hees to do it with me as well, and that is like an honorary... Basically, he was considered an honorary member of our hunt because he was at the table with us, and then he's, we have to distribute the food.
That's cool. I like that. I think that's a really neat little detail.
Yeah.
See, we get a couple of shots of you guys taking the platters of meat around, doling it out to people's serving plates, exchanging, smiles and laughs. Hees is probably in his element here. I get the idea that he's the type of person who revels in the attention and adoration of those around him, so being able to share this moment with you is probably pretty cool for him, even if it's, for the wrong reasons. Hees will probably either outright ignore Sia or make small comments throughout the night, maybe...
Like a backhanded compliment or...
disparaging her for being from the city or not knowing what she's doing. He would probably be like,
so I heard I heard that was you over with Sparky.
That was me.
Guess that's your nickname now, huh?
If you'd like.
Well, you earned it.
Thank you. She says, pinching her own thumb with her nail. So he doesn't see any visible frustration on her face.
sure.
Because she gets the feeling this guy could body her if she says one wrong thing with societal convention.
Who knows? You can always try to paralyze him.
Oh.
Oh my god. Probably wouldn't go over well, but, I'm not telling you what to do. I just imagine Sia, stretching her scorpion tail around Set's back to, stab Hees, who then faceplants into his food.
Oh, gosh. Oh, no.
Yeah. I think I'm going to try and, plead my case to Hees about, trying to get him to come around to me going out and scouting and trying to recover things more.
Definitely. So is that a conversation with Heath, or was that something you wanted to like make to the tribe as a whole? That's up to you.
Maybe I'm warming Heath up to this, and then I'm going to do it to the tribe as a whole. Basically, after Sia's statement, then I will try and move that towards that and get some small talk with Heath on the subject.
Definitely. And I'll say out of character, and this can either be for your conversation with Heath, or this can be when you're talking to the tribe as a whole. I figured we could treat that like a social challenge, because we haven't done one of those yet in this.
Could we do it so one step of that social challenge is me talking to Heath, and then the rest of them carry over to the rest of the group?
Yeah, it's perfect. That makes sense to me.
But I would also like to take a point to serve the Trailblazer to Adim.
So yeah, while you're going around, Adim is the next one on your list, yep. Okay, yeah, so Adim is sitting patiently, tranquil and crossed legs.
Yeah, and
he quirks his head as he hears you approaching, and he has a pleasant smile on his lips.
Adim, I didn't know you became the listener.
Well, we all become more of what we are over time. As circumstances change around us, we must change as well. I think you've discovered this, haven't you?
Yeah, I'm trying to help everyone here with that, actually.
For what it's worth, I would say you've succeeded. You can hear, listen.
He, pauses and quirks his head and sits there in pleasant silence with that same smile on his face.
The joy, the happiness. This is a balm for that. You've brought supplies, you've brought hope, the promise of a better tomorrow. That's always valuable.
I wish it was with you, my friend.
What do you mean? You are with me.
Yes, but I wish you were at the table tonight.
Oh, don't worry yourself with that. It wasn't meant to be. I found my place, and it seems you've found yours, or you're on your way to. We are all part of the tribe. This is everyone's victory, not just yours.
Yeah. I mean, Mon, you're the listener now. That's amazing.
I think that gets a slightly more personal smile from him.
He says, "Thank you, my friend. And thank you for saving me so that I could be. You could have sat at that table far earlier."
It wouldn't have been the same without you in the crowd.
I'm inclined to agree with you, but it doesn't change how I feel.
Yeah.
It's good to see you, to have you here.
Yeah. I don't think I'm coming home yet, though. Not.
I think his smile doesn't fade. It dulls a little bit at the edge, but there's a knowing quirk to it as well. And he nods.
Well, not entirely unexpected.
Yeah.
But the thing about walkers and runners is you're always in motion. You always need to be.
Just trying to get ahead. I'm... Here. Enjoy this. I need to keep going.
Of course.
Yeah, maybe I'll talk to you tomorrow before I leave.
I would enjoy that. Or whenever you have time.
I think as long as I'm here, I'll always have time for you, friend.
And you'll always have a place here, even if you stay away for a time. Be proud of what you've wrought.
And with that, Silica continues along.
Very cool.
If he bumps into Sia while she's doubling back for more to hand out, she's like, "Who is that? That's pretty cute."
That's Adim.
Oh my god, does Allie have love interest? Sorry.
No.
Sorry, continue.
He was on my first attempt to hunt the Trailblazers. He had the job I gave you. And, it went bad. It went very, very bad.
Oh.
He caught on fire.
Excuse me?
The Trailblazer attacked him, and he caught on fire and blinded him. And I had a choice to make. I could catch the Trailblazer. I could hit him with the sand and down him and have ensured that I had the glory of the hunt. But I couldn't. I reacted. I just reacted, and I used my ability to smother the flames on him. It was too scary, too horrific to watch we grew up. He was my friend. He was my best friend, and he was burning in front of me and screaming. And I just did everything I could to make sure that he stopped burning, and the Trailblazer fled. Heath was there, and he was very angry with me when that happened. He was very, very angry.
Well, it sounds like you did everything you reasonably could, as what I assume was a much younger you. But you also didn't tell me I could catch on fire doing that.
I mean, I thought it was obvious. You saw them running, right?
Yeah, but that's on
Oh
the
my God.
ground.
Yeah, but
I'm not angry. I'm just
Okay.
surprised you wouldn't have told me that.
I don't know. Sometimes I forget what you don't know about here.
Seth, listen. I don't know nothing about anything out here.
I really like the image of Sia sitting at this table of honor, in her brand new cloak, panning over to look at Adim off to the side, with his wrap over his face and just the look of horror on hers. She's like, oh my god, that could have been me.
Oh god. I can't do beakers or nothing like that.
With that attitude.
Well, I mean, she could probably figure it out.
I mean, Beaker does catch on fire a lot.
Oh god,
be
you're
honest.
right.
So.
Beaker.
Next, I want to try to talk to Heiss, and then maybe roll into it and addressing the whole crowd.
Okay, cool, yeah. So, if we're gonna roll this together with the social challenge, it's 3 rounds of the social challenge.
Mm-hmm.
You make your quote-unquote argument during each of those rounds, and your argument is either opposed by the person that you're trying to convince, or if there's someone arguing against you, it's opposed by them, and then only you can accumulate successes. So if they get more successes than you, it just prevents you from getting successes.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will apply modifiers to the roll based on the arguments that you bring forward and the person you're trying to persuade or arguing against. And then at the very end, the total number of successes determines the outcome, which we can discuss once we get there.
Yeah.
Let's just stick with Heath at the start. So whatever argument you would like to... Well, actually, let's take even a step further back and say the goal of this social encounter is for Silica to, convince everyone that he's better utilized as, a trader and a go-between rather than a hunter?
Yeah, let me see. Instead of being... What's a good term for this? So we have a listener, we have a runner, we have a walker, wanderer.
Wander's cool, yeah. Wanderer, seeker.
Yeah.
I mean, they could be very, all-encompassing terms. If that's what Zeph does as well, he could be a seeker or a wanderer. They might, be looking for different things, but still have a similar title.
I think Zeph is a seeker because he's looking for particular things. I think I want to be a wanderer where I'm trying to discover new things.
Now, is a wanderer an official position that already exists? Or is this like something he's trying to create?
I would like it to have existed in the past, but no one's filled the role in a long time because they feel that they've found everything they needed.
Cool, I like that a lot.
So it's like I'm trying to resurrect an archaic position.
So the goal then is for Silica to present the idea that he should be a wanderer, that the position should be resurrected and he should fill it, as opposed to being a walker or a hunter of some sort.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So yeah, round 1 will be your preliminary discussions with Hees, and however you'd like to frame that to him.
Okay. Should I roll first and then roleplay it, or the other way around?
I mean, you can either roleplay through it, or if you'd like to just distill it into bullet points, we can do it however you'd like, but I think the argument needs to come first because that will affect your roll. Like, if you make a really good argument, I'm going to give you benefits to that, or if you make, like, a bad argument that would go against what he thinks, then that would probably not go over as well.
Then I'm going to roleplay it a little bit, and...
Yeah.
Hees. Our traditions are important. They're what makes us, right?
It's our foundation for everything.
What about dead traditions?
Well, it depends on why they died. If they died and stay dead, they don't seem very important.
I want to be the wanderer. I think we stopped looking for something better. I want to find the things that make this better. That can make our lives better. I don't want to just live without finding something new. And I think that's what made us strong to begin with. We didn't give up when things changed. We went out and found a way to make this work. To make our lives work here. I think we can find more of what is here that we haven't looked for yet. I want to do that. I want to be the wanderer. I want to be the wanderer again. I want to bring that back.
You speak. He jerks his head in your direction to get a better, more focused look at you when you start talking about wanting to be the wanderer. You know, expression relatively inscrutable, but he does sit and listen to you speak. Maybe at this moment, as you're speaking to him, you notice that his breathing is a little bit more labored than it used to be. You know, maybe there's just a slight wheeze to it that you can only pick up every so often.
What about the now? People need more to survive. You would gamble? You would go out and look for something, new and unknown? Something we don't know that we need and might not need? At the expense of what we need to survive now?
Can I make a healing roll? See if I notice the nature of his wheeze that I'm starting to pick up on?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
I got a 5.
It sounds like there's fluid of some sort, you know? Whether that would, like, for me, I have allergies and stuff, so, you know, sometimes when I'm wheezing, it's a little bit wetter in that way.
Yeah.
I don't know what that would translate to in Silica's mind, but it definitely sounds wet as opposed to, like, out of breath or something like that.
So, I noticed there's problems with his breathing, and I would suspect that's, basically, he's sick, right?
Potentially, sure.
There's something wrong with the way he's breathing. It's like, but he said they're surviving now. So Set responds with, yes, but we don't live long. We can survive, but can we thrive? Could we be here stronger? We fall. Lots of us fall. They fall earlier than people outside of here. I've seen and heard of people living much longer than we get to here. And I don't want to abandon our lives here, but maybe we can live better here.
So, you do want to stay? You're not trying to run away to the city?
No, I would have gone by now.
Okay, based on your argument, so, I like talking about modifiers and, why I apply stuff, because I think it makes sense given the characters. Everything you've said is pretty on point. What we know behind the scenes, with Heath being sick and maybe, in not a downward spiral, but more of a tapering off, my thought would be, he's thinking about the tribe's future as well. He's being forced to acknowledge that he's not as powerful as he used to be. The tribe has been not in dire straits, but, they've been stretched thinner. Zeph is having to go out and acquire things more, so I think on some level he certainly sees the value in what you're saying and understands it within context, but he's also incredibly prideful and stubborn, so he doesn't really want to admit that, not only did you beat him yesterday or earlier in the day in that, sit that you guys both did, but you took out 3 trailblazers without any help from anyone in the tribe, so your results do kind of speak for themselves. So for convincing Heath that this is a good idea, I think it's a wash. I'm just going to say it's a flat persuade, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Or you don't have any modifiers, that is, so I will roll it against his spirit. I'm thinking his spirit it's definitely at least a D6. I would think it's a D8 because of the fact that he has a linked background.
I would also agree with that. That would make sense.
Okay. So go ahead.
Yeah, I'll make my persuasion roll. I got a 5 and a 3.
Okay, do you want to stick with that?
No. I'm spending a Benny. And I got a 4 and a 2. So I guess it's 5 and a 3.
5 and a 3. Okay. So he got a 3, so that is 1 success towards your total.
Okay.
As you're speaking to him, he starts to look back, to the rest of the tribe, listening as you speak. Probably sits in silence for a long moment or two after you finish. And then he says,
"The times are changing. The world is always changing and we always adapt. But things have been different, especially the last few years. I do not have the foresight that others do."
And he looks over maybe at Adim in passing.
"You return to us after much time, and you bring bounty, and you show your resilience. You can sit. I'm taken aback. I do not like to think that it is necessary, but perhaps there is some truth in what you say."
Then I'm going to ask the tribe to support me. Will you support me on this? In front of the tribe.
He takes another deep breath with that, faint rattle of moisture, and then blows out the breath and says,
"If you will make the case to them, I will not stand in your way."
That's fair.
He nods. After you guys talk, he's probably relatively quiet, from that point forward, thoughtful, not, aggressive and not ignoring you or anything, but just far away.
Mm-hmm.
So you got 1 success towards your total.
Yay!
So rounds 2 and 3 then, if we want to fast forward to after Sia has finished speaking, or whenever Set determines that it is most appropriate, we can make your final 2 arguments to the tribe as a whole. So same way, if you'd like to lay out bullet points, or if you want to do a little role play and make your case to the rest of the tribe, we can go from there.
Okay.
So two main arguments is what it's going to be broken into.
Yeah. So like, if I made that point to this group as well, and I think I would bolster... I don't know if I want to put Heath in the hot spot that he actually acknowledged my point, because he seemed that he didn't indicate that he would support, like he would vocalize that in front of everyone. So
what I'll say out of character, and probably what Silica could have read between the lines there, is that while he's not coming out like in support of the idea, he's also not going to speak against you. So You could also have him speak as like a neutral party, and his message would essentially be, I see the sense in what he is saying, but I believe we still need immediate sustainability, and that's the most important thing. Mm-hmm. So, I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I just don't think it's the best idea.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. Like, also, like, even just calling it out, putting someone who's not like, he's like, I'm not going to stand in your way if you want to do that, is different than, saying that you have a point. I don't know. When someone can concede a point to you, but they don't also want to be exemplified as being in support of it, in a group,
Definitely.
The points I'm going to make is we could be thriving, and then the next point I'm going to make is, and I know Sia can help me find that. Like, I have a resource to help, so I'm not going blind. So we have a reference point, and I am willing to do this, and I'm capable.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. The tribe is, still gathered around, allowing you speech as the person of honor, the guest of honor, rather, who made all of this possible. Mm-hmm. The first point, we could be thriving. I think that definitely speaks to everyone here, because, they've been living through scrimping and saving and having to make ends meet. So I think everyone here likes the idea that things could be better and could be easier. Mm-hmm. As far as a target, like what you're rolling against for this, I'm going to give you the option here. It's either going to be they're treated as like a group with a wild die, and you'll roll against a spirit with a wild die, or maybe they have like a higher base spirit, but they don't have the wild die. I don't know which one of those makes more sense here.
I think I'd rather go against a group with the wild die. Honestly, I don't know if it's better or worse, but I think in principle, as also a GM for this system, that's what I would do.
Sure.
So they're a group, and you roll group rolls with wild die.
Sure, I think that's cool.
So yeah, I'm going to choose this based on game philosophy solely.
No, and I think that makes sense, and I think logically them being a group in the situation probably makes the most sense. So I'm totally cool with that. I think I'm going to give them a D6 for their group spirit, which is the average, but you could make the argument for higher, but I'm going to stick with the D6. I think that's appropriate, because people want to believe, they on some level want to believe that there's a better answer out there, and I think your argument is a good one. So go ahead and make your persuade roll here, and I'm going to say this one has a +2.
I didn't critically fail, but I'm going to spin my Benny. I have one more Benny left after this, so...
Cool.
I got a 3 and a 1, +2 is a 5, which is a basic success, but if it's against a roll, so...
It is against a roll, yep.
And it's a 3 and a 3, so I got 5.
Okay. They rolled a 4 and a 1, so you got one more success on that one, so you're up to 2 successes total here. So you make your first point, we could be thriving. I think we get, a panning shot that goes around the campfire as everyone's still sitting there picking at the remnants of their food. Mm-hmm. The impassioned speech, at least a couple people start to nod their heads, looking around. Maybe one person looks down at their garb. We just see that there's slashes and gashes and maybe a hole punched here and there. The children that are sitting closest to the fire looking up at you with wide eyes, the wonder at there's more out there than, they know. That's always exciting as a child. So you definitely get a little bit of traction there.
My last point is I am very capable and have the resources to do this. demonstrating with the fact that I brought an outsider in and led one of the most successful hunts that we've had. I have contacts with the hub after spending so much time there, and I am willing to go places that others are afraid to go to because I have the skills to get in and out of there, like when I'm dealing with the Brions and our other such neighbors.
Your last argument is quite good because you definitely have showed resourcefulness. I think that Heath at this point did, tell everybody that you outsat him in the core events, which is impressive. You did make your way back. You brought an outsider, which, maybe not super fond of, but you brought a lot of resources, and they're literally having this feast because of you, and people haven't seen you for how long now? Has it been like a year? More than that?
I'm thinking like 2 or 3 years.
Okay, since he's even been back?
I guess a year since I've been back. 2 or 3 years since I stopped, living amongst the tribe regularly,
Gotcha, okay. So everybody, still knows who you are and, sees you coming back as, an event because you haven't been seen for so long. And the fact that you brought all this stuff with you is a good sign, given that Zeph, when you ran into him, directly told you that it was an important time for the tribe and you delivered on that. So I think that is significant to them as well. Probably the only thing that they wouldn't like outright is that, Sia is involved as well. But...
Well, I'd like to point out that, basically, if Sia, either A, can find capable outsiders to assist us, or B, I'm so capable, I can lead outsiders to be useful to us.
That's also a good argument, yeah. And, given that Sia did some crit failure earlier.
Yeah.
So,
oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think this is a moment where Xaver stands up and says... What, that outsider? That one right there? She blew up Sparky. She's the new Sparky. Aren't you, Sparky? And then, there's a chorus of chuckles that go around from the people that are gathered there. And I think mechanically, because of that earlier, that will impose a small penalty to this, total roll, but will probably be at least somewhat mitigated by the very good points that you made. He's like, what, are all outsiders that useful? Is that what you're counting on?
And maybe Allie could give me an assist roll?
Yeah, I think that's definitely appropriate. If you want her to. I'm saying that.
Also, Sparky wasn't called Sparky because Sparky was already broken.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, she tried to fix Sparky, something he could never do. Mm-hmm. Something he didn't even bother to do.
Very true.
So we'll wait for Allie to get back.
So if you would like for Sia to roll assist, she certainly may, but she is also still going to have her penalties from,
You're
all
right.
of her.
I think I should stand this one on my own. Yeah.
So if she fails, if she fails, it doesn't hurt you, but if she crit fails, it does. That's really the only thing.
Yeah. Well, maybe she got all of her crit fails out of her system.
Did you hear Allie yelling from the other room?
No.
She's like, oh God, don't put that on me.
All I heard was, if she crit fails...
Well, he's saying, could you support him in, persuading people that it's a good idea that he become the Wanderer?
I could try.
That's what I said.
She could speak to Folia.
Are you wanting to wrap that up in this task here, or is that a separate thing that you wanted to try?
To basically say, I have an outsider who knows things that we don't, then she could talk about this thing that... a disease that's affected the community that they never put a name on and never could put a finger on. This is our way. This is good for you. You're telling us the good for you thing is bad for us.
Silica would definitely know that is what they will contest with, There's always going to be a baseline level of xenophobia when you come in and tell somebody that part of their culture is it's harmful to them.
Mm-hmm.
So that is a danger. But I mean, if you go for it here, then it could go very well. It could go poorly, but it'll make things interesting regardless.
Chase, this one's up to you. Tell me whether you want me to goober this up or not.
Give me an assist roll. We're trying to just not get a critical failure. I think that is a fair thing to just try and prevent.
Can I roll science?
You know what? This is fun because it does actually stipulate in the rules here. I'm gonna pull it up just so I don't goober it. Modifiers. Persuasion rolls should be modified by the situation as the GM sees fit. A hero trying to convince a scientist of a fact within his field rolls the lowest of his persuasion or science. A particularly brilliant argument or impassioned role-playing might add +1 to +4. An insult or faux pas inflicts a similar penalty. Hindrances should also be considered. Convincing a jury that an outsider major is innocent of a crime, for example, carries a -2 penalty. So the way that I would interpret that here is Sia has penalties specifically for persuasion because she's not really good at like convincing people of things. But if she's specifically talking about something science related that she is like very literate in, I'm kind of thinking maybe that overwrites her baseline failure of persuasion, right? So
Okay.
I would say if you want to assist here, you can roll science instead of persuade, and you won't get your persuade penalty from your tongue-tied, but you're still going to have the penalty from outsider because
Right. Well, didn't it say the lower of the two?
in that particular case, it said the lower of the two. I'm going to say you can roll science here.
Okay, that feels fine
Yeah.
for me. So it's still -2.
It's still a -2 based on your success earlier with like getting your baseline success for, talking to people during the feast. I will mitigate half of that penalty down to a -1. So like you're still an outsider, but in this moment, because you were lauded as one of the heroes of this feast, you're getting a little bit of a pass. Not
Okay.
a whole pass.
Okay.
And what I'm going to say here is that Sia's role specifically, I know I'm breaking this up and going a little cowboy with the rules, but I'm going to say Sia's role is going to be opposed by Zaver because he's the one who is talking against you because you blew
Damn.
up Sparky.
Well, maybe he shouldn't install Sparks. You know?
Chase made the valid point that, you tried to do something that he couldn't fix either, so.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
But
I did break his mug, though.
so
Did break his-
maybe I'm complicating that too much. So let me make a roll for him real quick. He got an 8. Go ahead and roll against him. Roll your science.
Okay, I want to try something.
Okay.
It's my adventure card.
Okay.
It's called Uh-Oh.
Uh-oh.
Each player draws a card from the adventure deck and may play an additional card this session. Sometime soon, the party is subject to a strong and dangerous attack from enemies or creatures out for blood. The text is, did you hear that?
Oh god, okay. All
I
right.
want to see if I can get anything good out of the deck that would help.
So luckily, the giant manta rays fly over the...
No!
That's fine. But yeah, okay, you guys can both draw an adventure card. Does that, increase your max? Is that what it said there?
For this session, I think.
Okay. Your Hail Mary to be like, give me something I can use.
Yeah.
Love it. Did you get an extra card, Chase?
I pulled an extra card. I don't think it'll be incredibly useful in this scenario. But I think I have one that exists that might help me.
I'd like to play an adventure card.
Okay.
To get a clue. Play this card for advice from the game master on how to resolve a current predicament or problem or find all the clues or evidence in a particular scene. Wait, I've got an idea. What can I tell these people?
Okay. So...
Because they do not like me.
Sure, so you're...
Why would they? I blew up their thing and I'm weird.
Right, so, you would probably get a little bit of... They'll go with you if you kind of clap back on him, but from what Chase said earlier while you were gone about, hey, you couldn't fix that either. I tried, I came out, I didn't have to do that. If you, stick up for yourself like that, that'll probably go well. As far as how to, bring forward the Folia issue, let's think about that for a minute.
The other cultures use Kori devices and use Kori energy in a helpful way. Maybe pointing out that, basically saying, you guys are on the right track, but we have techniques that can make it better and less risky. And this issue that comes up because of how risky it is, basically, you're using unrefined things with just some tweaks, it could be even better, and you won't get sick. Yeah, coming out and saying just, you guys are on the right track, Kori is incredibly useful. Even most people in the city haven't figured out how to make it as helpful as you guys have. But if we share with other people, we can turn it into something, you can utilize it in a way that's less risky. You can mitigate the problems and make it even more effective.
Okay, well, I'm gonna roll my science so I know how to direct her either upward or downward spiral of a conversation, if that's acceptable.
Sure. You would get modifiers to your roll based on what you're presenting. But if we just, I mean, if you just want to say we roll everything we just talked about into what you're saying instead of having to, like, rehash it yourself, that's fine too.
I mean, she could, but...
That's up to you as the player. If you want to do that, you can, but if you want to just say, like, yes.
I think I want to roll first and then go.
Okay.
As, like, I want to hit these talking points kind of thing. So that's still there's -1, you said?
Yep.
Or -2? -1.
Well, if you're choosing to make this roll, then take a further +2 with your, like, trait benefit.
What?
That's what we were talking about. So, like, the purpose of making the argument before you roll is that you get modifiers to the roll based on the argument that you've made. So if you're rolling it right now, then we need to factor in your modifiers. We're overthinking this. Roll it at a +1 cumulatively.
I got a 10.
Okay, so you got a 10 plus 1 is
Plus 1.
11. Okay, so that is a success that beats the 8 that Xaver got. Set's final point is like, we have a lot to offer. There's a lot of stuff out there that will be beneficial for us, and I have the tools and resources to go find it. Like, we went out, we did this hunt, we brought all this stuff back. I found an outsider, I brought him here to, like, help us and do all this stuff, and we're doing really, really good work. Xaver stood up and was like, what, old Sparky over here blew up Sparky? Like, that's what they're gonna do? So this was kind of like refuting him as well as building up your position. So you got a success on yours, which I'm gonna roll forward into Set's as well.
So Sia stands up, looks this guy dead in the eyes, and points one of her thick fingers at him. And it's like, you couldn't fix Sparky either. Why do you think you asked me to do it? Because you couldn't do it. Why would it be sparking if you could have fixed it already?
It wasn't blown up before.
Yeah, well, it's probably not sparking now either. So I fixed something. She doesn't know it's still sparking. She didn't check.
All right, so and then you're further assisting.
She's just angry now. Oh, she doesn't know how to breach this. So I was thinking about it, but I don't know how to put it into how you say the words. I am impressed at how you've utilized the Kori in the natural world that you've found, but I'm very concerned about what it might be doing to your physiologies that you might not be aware of. I'm not a doctor or anything, but I've worked around doctors, and my parents were not doctors and they did not work around doctors, but what they did work around was a lot of Kori, and they both died.
Is this true?
It is true.
Oh my gosh. Lore drop.
They died. And the doctors said it was because they were not handling the Kori safely while they were trying to get it where it needed to go. And it's a disease. It's called folia, and it cuts lifespan. It can degenerate the mind and the body. It's really different for everyone, but it's never safe and it's never good. And if you would allow me to maybe hook up a supply line for doctors or medicine for you, please. I just want to... You don't have to do that. Or maybe there's a way we could do it more safely and more efficiently. But I don't know what you have to deal with every day, so... Thank you for your time.
Okay. I'll say your outsider is still halved right now, so you get a -1 from that. You get a -1 from your tongue-tied. Let's just stick at the -2. I think your sad story about your own family dying
it's sad.
helps to mitigate the fact that you're concerned. So make your... I think this one is going to be a persuade. Your persuade at a -2.
Plus my -1.
No, just at a -2.
-2. Okay. 8.
An 8. Wow, okay.
Man, thank God all those crit fails got out earlier in the session, am I right?
Yeah,
When it didn't
alright,
matter
so-
and I just got blown up a little bit.
All right, so I'll stack that with your previous one and say that you're giving him a cumulative +3.
Yes.
Which is a little bendy, but I think you guys earned it based on your role playing and how you've been doing it. So, Set, you're getting a +3 from her. I mean, it was a good argument. They want to believe that you've proven that you have resources, so take a further +2. So you're at a +5 on this roll, which sounds like a lot,
Okay.
and it is. And we'll see how close to complete success you get.
Okay. That's a +5.
+5.
It's an 8 total.
8 total.
Is that the 2 successes?
We'll see here. So do you want to stick with that, or you want to try to Benny it?
So I'll use my last bennies at the end of this session. 9.
9. Okay, so that's 2 more successes. So you are at cumulatively 4 successes. And the social conflict got restructured at some point in the past, because when I reread it today, it was different than I remember it being.
Really?
So social conflict results, they call them tokens instead of successes, because
I literally have been using my black poker chips so I've been using the tokens.
nice, that's great. And they quantify it that way instead of successes, because when you're doing it opposed and they get successes, they just block you from getting tokens. So it's just, I guess, nomenclature. But so the tiers of results are 0 tokens, which is a failure, 1 to 3, which is like a small success, 4 to 5, which is like a reasonably good success, and a 6+, which is a complete and total, like, everything. So specifically, if you have a 4 to a 5, the arbiter, which in this case would be the tribe, is reasonably convinced or willing to help. They grant the aid requested, more or less, but only under certain conditions or in exchange for payment, tasks, favors, etc. The prosecution is successful with typical sentencing in a trial. So in this case, I think that means that, people are generally approving of this in terms of resurrecting this tradition that has been dormant for years in light of your great bountiful success bringing the feast here and this new person who's shown up. So mechanically, I think that means that, they'll agree to you being the wanderer, probably with the stipulation that, you'll be expected to, come back at least semi-frequently to show them what you've been doing and, like, not disappear for long periods of time as you had in the past. And we can probably talk through some of the stipulations that they might make to you. I don't feel the need to anchor that in this exact moment. But that's probably a pretty big win for Silica in terms of what he was hoping to get. So
I'm so proud of him.
So some people are still going to be like, well, I mean, we still need food. Like, what's the point in going out and looking for stuff when we need food? But most people are at least swept up in this fantasy or hope that, there is still a brighter tomorrow and more stuff that you can go out and bring back to make their lives better, since you've already done some of that. So when you finish speaking, maybe it's Adim who stands up and he says, "We've all seen the bounty that Silica brought back for us. He's been gone for some time, it's true, but we know him to behave with honor and dignity, and in the best interest of us all. So I think it only proper that we give him the benefit of the doubt now." There's a murmur of assent, and people, and maybe there's just a murmuring of your name that goes around as everybody says Silica, looking at him up on the, on the top of the mesa with the red rings of the planet in the background.
There's this moment, you see a shot of the fire crackling on my face with Sia just over my shoulder, and then it cuts back to Adim with the fire crackling on his face with Isbel to his left also. There's this meeting of their gazes, and then cut to black.
Hey everybody! Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Silica Valley with us. First off, big thank you to Chase Absher, because without Chase, Y'all, Silica Valley would not exist, and I'm so grateful for it every damn day. Thank you also to Valentine, Ezra, Nakota, Jackie, Jade, and Paxton. Thank you also to Caleb Sunstead, Zach, Ben Hatton, Gerald, Andrea, Davriel, Ellis, Zane, Nathan, Romalak, Lexington 296, and Calder. Our music is by Crockett, Waveshaper, and Marcus D. Crockett you can find at Crockett80s on Twitter and crockett.bandcamp.com. Waveshaper is at waveshaper_SWE on Twitter and at waveshaper1.bandcamp.com. And Marcus D, of course, heavily featured in this episode. You can find at marcusd.net and at marcusd on Twitter. Thanks to the creators of Savage Worlds, the Pinnacle Entertainment Group. You can find them and their products online at peginc.com.